Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. So when I was checking things this morning, I was like, oh no, there's just something happening with this ear. I remember that I had to do some movement around there, so that's probably all it is. I just need to move it back out to where it belongs. Let me see. How far do I move it here? None. There we go. Now all should be well once again. Yes, there we go. Okay. But other than that, I thought things were looking pretty good, so I can just jump right back into finishing up the side bang here. There we go. Have to kind of remember where I left off. I think I was mostly focused on the outside there. Let's take a look here, see how I want that to go again. Just kind of... yeah, trying to remember how it all goes. I think I want everything a little bit further to the right here. Just have this scooch on over. Not a lot, but definitely a little bit. I think it makes sense for some of this that's kind of like sitting on top to be overlapping over here a little bit more. So I'll just send this all the way down to the tip. And then I'll check all my angles and stuff again. And see if things are lining up the way that I want it to. It's always where I start. So this inner part here is actually quite straight. So I'm trying to keep the angle fairly straight all the way down. I'm trying not to let it curve too much. It always surprises me at just how straight that strand is. So I'm trying to be very aware of that while I move everything around here. There we go. And now the other thing to check is this area is made out of two strands here. So I want to make sure that they're overlapping each other correctly and that I have everything lining up in the way it should. Because it's like these parts kind of share a texture. And so the parts where it's the same, I just want them to be right on top of each other. Gives me a good idea of where all of this should be. Because it's just identical underneath, so when I hide it, I should not see any difference. Or at the very least, very, very minor differences. But honestly, as long as it looks good, it's fine. But it does at least give me some idea of where I want to put things. I always describe those as like little clues that I can look around for. And figure out where things should go based on that. Most of the time I use big landmarks, like, you know, the eyes or some other piece that I know is moving right. And I use the chin as a big one, since that shows exactly how much your head is moving. But in this case, when it comes to just specific details on the strand itself, I know that I can just use those areas that are supposed to just match up perfectly. Right now, I'm just not quite satisfied with how some of these lighter areas were going. I feel like they're moving up a little bit too much. So I'm pushing them back down a little bit. Trying to keep the spacing between the vertices relatively similar. But otherwise, you know, just want to push it all down. It's too high, just gotta get a little bit lower. So lately I've been doing some world building for my comic idea. Someday I will be prepared to talk about that in depth. But for now, I was trying to look into some real-world inspiration for religions that don't have gods, basically. And the first one that came to mind was Buddhism. And some Buddhist thought does have gods because it had kind of a merger with Hinduism just due to the geographic region it was founded in. But that aside, even some aspects of, or some later branching in Buddhist thought ended up caring about the creation myths and gods and all of that still. And I thought that was kind of interesting. It definitely provided some interesting insight into human nature, I think. Or even a religion where its, like, primary holy figure said, it doesn't really matter how the world is created. It doesn't really tell us how to live now. Still ended up with some creation myths. I just thought that was fascinating. Of things that humans are curious about and will find answers for. Even if some of their more ancient texts say that there are no answers for it. Or that, you know, humans shouldn't really be concerned with it. And it's just something people seek out anyway. And admittedly, what I was looking into was extremely surface level because, like I said, I was just looking for some inspiration for a fantasy setting. I wasn't trying to recreate Buddhism. I just wanted to get a basic understanding of some of the thoughts and principles behind it. Or creating a fantasy religion. In fact, it's probably for the best that it doesn't look too much like Buddhism. But, yeah, I just found it very surprising that even with some of those tenets, that it still happened. And I guess strictly speaking, it is one of the ideas that I wanted to talk about in my comic a little bit, on how, for better or worse, the ideas that survive are the ones that are spread between humans. And so, you know, they're the ones that resonate with people and get a degree of popularity. And if they don't get that, then they just die. And just die out, nobody really thinks about them anymore. And so when I guess it comes to spirituality and the idea of the divine, gods just tend to enter human thought. For better or worse, it just happens. I thought that was kind of interesting. Just an interesting observation. So the parts that I'm looking at now here, I'm looking at kind of these lighter areas right through here, trying to line all of them up. And it looks like I've mostly gotten there. Let's take another look here. Still kind of see a little bit of squirming right around here. So it tells me I have a little bit more work to do in this area, but it's a lot better than it was. So that's a good thing. I think a lot of this is just figuring out where the center vertices need to go. And then once I have them in place, I can adjust the outer ones to get everything the right thickness. Get the outer edges to where they need to go to. Just gonna create Vertex Paradise. Give them all good little homes where they can be happy and comfortable and will no longer squirm in my peripheral vision. So it looks like it's mostly over here where I see the problem. That solved quite a lot of it. There's still just like, I don't know, this little piece that comes up here. There's like this little light spot, then a dark spot, and then the rest of the light spots. Little tiny light spot wasn't quite in place yet. I think I talked about this in more detail yesterday, but there's just lots and lots of little colors in that area. I try to pay attention to all of them. Make sure that everything is getting to where it needs to go. And slowly but surely I'll just make my way down the strand. I'm not in any rush. It's like if we're already up to, what, episode 145 of this, it's like, doesn't really matter if there's another 100. It's already long. Creating a time-lapse of this is already going to be an adventure, so it's fine. I'll take my time. I'm not gonna worry about it. Not gonna worry about it at all. So I'm still also paying a lot of attention to the outer end there. Trying to make sure that everything ends up being nice and straight. With the surprisingly straight strands in her hair. Honestly, these are things that I want to pay attention to next time I make a model with my own art. Because I think it'll give me insights into how I draw too. And that sounds very interesting to me. It's like someday I kind of want to do some in-depth style analysis of just art from games I like and stuff. See if I can mimic the style somewhat. Just for fun. But I am also curious on exactly what the pieces of my own style is. And how all that works out too. If I were to do a style analysis on myself, what would I say? Not sure yet. I think I'd have to practice that with other people's style first. It's a little bit hard to properly analyze your own when, I don't know, like, I don't even, I don't even know what goes into a lot of styles in general and how to match them. I haven't tried very hard with that. I've tried a little bit. I mean, I did have to do a lot of redrawing when I was making this. And I did try to at least imitate the style somewhat. But I still feel like it's not quite the same. And I feel like I should have a decent understanding of just understanding art styles in general and trying such analyses on styles that are not my own and figuring out how to do that before I really start tearing into my own. Because it's like when I draw stuff, I'm not generally thinking about it that hard. There's a few characteristics that I pay attention to. Just style to style, since I have more than one. But, I think that there's probably still a lot of just little unconscious things that are similar between each of them. And that's another reason that I'm kind of curious. Just learning about what other people do, and then taking that knowledge to figure out what I do. Bringing that into the forefront of my consciousness instead of just having it be something I just kind of vaguely understand. Have it be something I can explain, instead of just something in my head that I vaguely understand. It's one of those things that sounds interesting to me in my head, at least. Sometimes self-discovery takes very weird forms. And I do think that is true to an extent. It's like if you look at some of the work of some modern psychologists and stuff, like I know one of the big things that came out of Carl Jung was how do I explain it? I mean, the idea of the shadow, the part that of yourself that you suppress because you probably don't like it very much. And and the way that you kind of discover that and start bringing the shadow back into yourself is by figuring out what really bothers you in other people. Because the part of other people that tend to make you the angriest might also be a part of yourself that you're suppressing. Something like that. I am very much not an expert in all of this. I swear the only reason I know as much as I do is because of freaking Persona series. Where they use a lot of those ideas. Persona is a pretty great series of RPGs though, so if you enjoy Japanese RPGs, I do recommend them. All of them. It's like, I guess the earlier installments might seem a little bit clunkier compared to Persona 5, but Persona 5 was like seriously excellent, so it's not that surprising. They just keep building up on the franchise and making it better with each one, so of course the older ones are gonna feel older. It's only natural when so much progress has been made. And each one just seems better than the last. I think I've said in the past that I don't think people should be, like, especially ashamed of playing video games or any of that stuff, because you can learn a lot from them if you play with an active mind. It's kind of the same for any aspect of entertainment. I think people severely underestimate what you can learn just from doing what you think is fun. Because people put all kinds of interesting ideas into video games. And books and comics and TV shows and movies. They're all made by people with ideas. And if you go in there with an active mind and a sense of curiosity and actually try to get a sense for why you like something versus why you don't like something, or what makes this thing good, what makes this part bad, and what ideas is the creator trying to impart on you and that kind of thing. Even if it's not, strictly speaking, intentional. Most creative work has some kind of idea in it that the creators are trying to push on. Or you know, even if they're not doing it intentionally, sometimes interesting ideas can just come up. Come up like magic. And something can be thought-provoking even if it wasn't the least bit intentional. I think everything that's made by humans it says something about humans. Whether that's good or bad, like there's going to be some ideas in there, like, I'm trying to think of a good way to explain this. Like, I mean, I talked about it with Persona, using a lot of Jungian ideas, but trying to think of something that's maybe not quite as highbrow. Let's see here. You know, I guess I can just use Path to Nowhere as a example. Because it's like they do make some references to more quote-unquote highbrow philosophy and stuff sometimes, but, you know, even the parts that don't, there's still a lot of just really heartfelt emotions, and the fact that these characters can resonate with people, and that characters like this, you know, were created to do so because they want you to basically fall in love with their characters. This way you will want to buy them, basically. Like, the characters are the product here. And so they want to make characters that they think will be likable, and likable enough that people will want to spend their money on them. So just looking at the kinds of characters that they create, and what ideas that they put into them, for better or worse, like, each of these little decisions says something about people, about the creators, about the people that they think will be playing their game. All of these things. And if you just kind of look into them, they're just all of these little truths about the world and about people that you can just uncover from paying a little bit of attention. Just paying a little bit of attention to the media you're consuming. And a lot can come of it. It's like if I just look at some of Shalom's themes of feeling like, you know, her heart has been wholly suppressed and largely removed from her. It's like, you know, I bet the person that wrote that probably feels that way about their own life. And one of the events where I felt the strongest with this feeling was Levin's. Like, pretty much all of those monologues, I'm just like, man. You are just screaming something out and hoping that someone hears. It's okay, keep going, writer, I hear you. The writer was just writing about stuff that severely bothered them in their own life, I could tell. But But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people felt that way, of just so many people telling you what to do and saying just really mean things for no apparent reason. They never seem happy and all this other stuff. It's like, yes, I feel you, writer. And after the anniversary event, I kind of feel it even stronger, because that was like Bagel's entire character arc. Wouldn't be surprised if they were written by the same person, honestly. So yeah, just pay a little bit of attention to everything that you're interacting with, and you can actually learn several things about the world and yourself and people. It's pretty cool. Creativity's pretty rad. It really is just a matter of keeping your mind open and listening. Allowing those ideas to flow into your head and approaching the world with just a sense of curiosity. Wanting to understand. Wanting to understand instead of wanting to judge. I think that's probably the big thing. Oh man, I think it's time for the strand from hell. I'm not ready. I'm gonna go do the little strand that comes off at the front bank. I'm not ready for the strand from hell. I'm scared. I'm gonna run away for a second. Okay. Although, honestly, I feel like it's in a fairly decent spot. Although, then again, maybe there are a couple of shenanigans here. Let's take a look. Am I satisfied with how this area right here is moving? It's like when I went from here to here, that was basically fine. But from here to here, to the top, to the upper right, not so much. It's like a big deal of sliding with this shadow part kind of dividing this part up here. I'm trying to figure out whose fault that is. Seems to be the upper right. Okay. So I think I just need to pull this down. Oh man, I made this part of the mesh just so detailed compared to like every other part. It's kind of wild. I can tell this is one of the early ones I did because I didn't get lazy. I definitely got lazy as I kept going through. It all worked out in the end though, so no harm, no foul. Alright, let's adjust some of these highlights. And we'll pretend the strand from hell doesn't exist for a little while longer. It can't hurt me if I don't acknowledge it. If that doesn't do it, I'm gonna consult the mesh a little bit. Yep, I do believe it is mesh consulting time. Okay. Army of vertices. What do you see? Oh, is that really all you need to tell me? Okay, fair enough. simpler than I thought. Just a whole bunch of little vertices got, flipped this way. So now I just need to, like, pull this entire thing down. And that should fix, like, half the problem right there. Yep. Sometimes it doesn't take very much. I just gotta clean things up a bit. Make everything nice and pretty again. Put the last few spots into place, and all should be well. All should be well indeed. Past few days, I felt like I've had a lot of nervous energy stored up in me. So I went for a walk yesterday, and it felt pretty good. I haven't been able to do that lately. A part of it just, you know, due to being kidnapped by Zero while I finished that picture. But, another part is just... my kids are little, and I can't really leave them on their own. I tried for a couple of days to just head out during nap time. Go for like probably I was probably out for like a good hour there, and when I came home they were playing with each other in one of their bedrooms, and I'm just like, okay, the older one maybe doesn't need to nap, but the younger one absolutely does. He will get cranky if he doesn't have his nap. So, alas, I was not able to do that. So I'd have to find some different time for it, and I just have not been able to. So about the only time that I am able to is when the grandparents come and take care of them. Yesterday was one such day. Still felt good to get out, but it's been a while since I've done it, and I can tell because my legs are a little bit sore. It's okay, that's just all the more reason that I have to do it more often. My legs shouldn't be getting sore from a fairly light walk like that, like, ah. I'm way too out of shape for my own good here. If I have more nervous energy I need to work out of myself this morning, might even actually go vacuum. It's been a while since I vacuumed. I should probably do that. The cleaning is actually pretty good for that. It's like when I get those feelings where I just need to move. Just manual labor. It works wonders. It really does, actually, like, completely unironically. Sometimes, like, the human body was built to move. It does things. And it moves around. And moving around, it can actually make you feel better. It's hard to believe, but it works. It really does. So this is where I'll say how I feel. It's like, do I feel like running around and cleaning up the house a little bit, or do I feel like drawing? We shall see. I might even do a little bit of both. Who knows? So I ended up going into a little bit of a rabbit hole around the bangs. But that's fine. I can take my time here too. As always, the things that are in the front I'd like to pay a little bit more attention to. Just, you know, because they're in the front and center. People will be looking there. People will be far more likely to notice mistakes there. So I'm just taking my time while I figure out what I want to do today. Haven't decided yet. I don't really need to know until it's time to go do it. Although that said, it is Tuesday, and if it's not too snowy, that means it's time to take my kids to the park too. That'll be more things that'll get me moving a little bit. Alright, but I worked out the issue that I was seeing, so let's go put this little strand in now. We'll see what he does. I think I know exactly how I want to fix this up. Gotta get a big brush. Whoa, I accidentally hit the move button. Something like that. Neater, but that's the general idea. I'm trying to see if it's in the right place before I go in and really start cleaning it up. I think it happened just yesterday even, where if I clean things up, or if I start cleaning things up before I know it's in the right place, it's like I'll look and then, oh no, the thing is squirming. Why did I spend so much time cleaning it up when it wasn't ready? And I just tell myself all these silly things. So I want to make sure that it is in place before I start cleaning it up. There, I wanted to take a quick look at the right head turn and see if I liked the location of that strand in it, because it was squirming pretty bad when I moved between there and the upper right. And indeed, I did like its location better, so I moved it on over. Just moved it on over in the upper right. That's definitely no good. Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm actually going to zoom in and take a close look at this, do some intense staring. You can see that it's going up a lot here. But for that, I need to worry about this layer as well. Because this strand kind of sits right on top of this one. So I gotta do something like that. Yeah, that still looks okay. And that definitely looks a little bit better. Now I just gotta floof it upward a little bit more, line it up with the top. Okay, yeah, so far so good. Now, I want to bring this part down. Now that the apex height is in kind of the right place. Bring the rest down and make it a little bit more shaped, like the rest. Yeah, something like that. Still gotta do a little bit of cleanup, but I think that will be hard to do with the brush. So I'm gonna start going in and making everything look nice too. Everything is in roughly the right place. It's just a matter of fixing some curves and that kind of thing. There we go. Just having to find the right place to put these vertices here. Let me see, which way do I want you to floof? Okay, roughly like this. So I'm on the right track. Even zoomed in to 1000%, I know what's going on. It's an impressive feat. Because man, I never know what's going on when I'm zoomed in this close. Gotta be careful doing that. And honestly, all the parts out here were already looking pretty good, so I don't think I need to really do any adjustments there. So let's see if this is all lining up and looking okay. Okay, looks like I brought it just slightly too high. So I gotta bring it back down a little bit. Just round this out like this. And that should do it. Okay, and now I just don't like the angle that it's coming up. So I'm going to adjust that real quick too. Just bring all this on over. Something like that, I think. Yeah, perfect. Something about it feels off still. I'm trying to figure out what that is. I think the highlight might have gotten pushed up. Because you can see on the strand there's like this light part and then it goes into this dark part. And I think the light part got pushed up somehow. There was a lot of brush usage, so not too surprising. Just keep pulling everything down a little. I'm trying to get a fairly even spacing on all of the vertices here. And I'm hoping that will get everything into the right place here. If it doesn't, well, that's when I need to go and consult the mesh. Mesh probably has some good ideas. I believe in it. Mesh is pretty smart. Okay, is that any better? Yes, indeed. Okay, good. Looks like that's all it was. Cool. Alright, so no more procrastinating. It is time for the strand from hell. No, it's not. I can do the one in front of it and the connecting hair first. Okay, cool. More procrastinating. Let's go. And yes, indeed, there is plenty to do with the connecting hair. Oh boy. Okay, okay. It's okay. Every part is its own adventure. That's just how it goes. Seems like most of it's pretty okay. I just gotta straighten it up a little bit. There's like this little red spot over here. And that's the area that I was looking at before. But, I brought it out a little bit too far, so now I'm pushing it back a little bit. Go ahead and straighten out this curve too. Can start getting all that looking nice. I don't think I have to move it too much, so we can just make it look nice right away. Okay, it's still a little wrinkly, but that's fine. I'll fix it. Okay, let's go fix it. Let's go fix things over here, too. Man, all these vertices so close together. Making it hard for me to see. Okay, there we go. Now I can see a little bit better. Just giant snuggle party of vertices here. All just so close together. I hope they're all friends. Otherwise that'd be kind of awkward. Okay, I think that's fine. Yeah, there we go. Looking okay. Now let's go make these strands down here look good. Get everybody into a nice, happy little spot. Happy little vertices for happy little hair. And then I see we got a little bit of hair peeking through, it looks like. Or maybe we don't. Maybe it's an overlapping vertex. Doesn't look like an overlapping vertex. What is that? It's like something right there. I have no idea. Let's take a look. Is it just the angle that they're coming down here? That could be it. Let's see. So if I just slide like everything over here upward, will that make my problems go away? Yes. Okay, cool. So I think what was happening there is that all of these clustered vertices were being pulled really far downward. And so the program was trying to move the texture underneath to follow that. And that just made it so it had a sharp, like, drop off right over here. And that didn't look very good. So I fixed it. Now all is well. Maybe not quite yet, but, you know, we're getting there. We'll pull some of these vertices up a little bit higher. Let them reunite with their friends up north. Okay, yeah, I think that all looks fine. I think some of the textures are a little bit wrinkly still. But everything is in the right place, so once I just go in and clean things up just a little bit here, I think it should be good. There's still, like, this little spot right over here. I'm not sure what's happening here. Not quite sure. Okay, but I think that's a little bit better. Might have changed the angle a little bit too much, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, a little bit. But I think I understand what's happening now and why I wasn't happy with some spots. Because, oh boy, there's just so many collected little vertices here. They're all just so close together. That area always gives me a little bit of trouble, but, man, when it's so heavily compressed like that, that's fascinating. Okay. But I think that's good. So now, the strand. It's okay, we don't have to go to this one yet. We can do this one first. We can just do this tomorrow. I can run for one more day. I'll take it. But I do think tomorrow is going to be Strand from Hell Day. I'm just going to do everything I can to get that into place. And hope that it does not take me a week. Like, I can dream. I'll believe for the time being. I choose to believe. Choose to believe that, hey, maybe since most of the Strand from Hell is just covered up completely, that maybe I can get it done in a day. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? Alright, before I adjust the strand from hell peeking out through there, let me make sure that I have that strand in the right place. I don't. I don't. Isn't it sad? Or is it here that I don't have it in the right place? Oh, good. It's here I don't have it in the right place. Actually, I'm not sure if that's good, because that probably means I'm going to have to mess with the strand from hell a little bit over here. Make sure it's hiding behind the strand as it needs to. But yes, I'm making this strand floof out a little bit more down here now. I think it looks a little bit better. Strand from hell playing peekaboo aside. You know what, it's bothering me enough, I'm just gonna hide it. We're gonna pretend it's not there for the time being. And I'm just gonna work on this strand, get everything into place, make it all nice and smooth, and then I can turn it back on. But first I want to make sure that these two turns are lining up nicely. I guess I should say 3 turns, since I check this, this, and this. Let me see here. I'm actually going to hide the side bang for a moment as well. We'll just have a little bit of floating hair and then whatever the heck is going on with her ear. There we go. Now I'll just slide all of this up here. And hopefully that'll fix everything that I didn't like, because I thought this highlight area was a little bit too low. So I just wanted to push the whole thing up. Yeah, there we go. Now it's moving up a little bit. I think the tip of this highlight here still isn't moving enough. So I'm going to go ahead and try to bring them up just a little bit higher. And then from there I can go and make everything nice and neat. Let's bring the tip up just a little bit too. I'll just bring this guy on up as well. And everything will be fine. There we go. Alright, let's go turn on some of this hair. I'll even turn on the strand from hell too. What the heck. Okay, now I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, try to get the vertices spaced a little bit better. And hopefully once I have that, everything will look better. I'm trying to base how I curve this on some of the problems that I saw when I was taking a look at all of the other layers. Or not layers, but all the other turns. All the other parts of the head turns. And then I just kinda move everything in, see if I can get it to look nice. Over here I can tell still has some shenanigans going on. And I am definitely starting to get a bit hungry. Okay, I think I'm gonna have some more to take a look at with this one tomorrow, because I can see that if I tried to do that today, I'd be going down a very interesting rabbit hole. So I think I will actually stop here for today, and we'll finish up that strand and procrastinate on the strand from hell for just a little bit longer. So thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, or any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or add me on the social media platform of your choice. I'll take a look, maybe leave some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.